This is the first part of completing the square. There's actually harder problems, but this concept gets to the point that it's almost one that people forget. So let's go on to the next slide. Now, when you look at this equation, this is set up as the basic quadratic equation. And you can see that this is ax term. This is your bx term, where bx is negative. And these are pluses. Okay, and this is your 40 is on the other side. This would be negative 40 if you want to go ahead and solve it. But we're completing the square. So all we have to do is know that we have three terms here, so it's quadratic. So that's not something we want to do. We just want to look and see, can we do this? Because if you wanted to do this, completing the square, and this was like x minus 1, you'd already have your equation, so you wouldn't have to go through the trouble of completing the square. So now let's take a look. You're going to go down here and you're going to divide by 2. But if you divide each term by 2, this is what happens. You take this 2 out, because 2, remember that's a square root. 2 divided by 2 equals 1. And there's your x. You take this out, and there's your x minus 3 equals 40. This slide, if you're downloading, is just going to show you another situation. Your book will have this is x minus 3. X minus 3 squared is 40. Well, here's what you have to do too with that 2. Whatever you do on this side, you have to do on this side. So now you have, and people are inclined to say 40 squared. Well, that's not really what you're doing. You're taking it out and you're making this term go over here, which then becomes 49. Okay, now you are solving something as x minus 3. You have to remember it's in the bracket. So you are getting x minus 3 as a square root of 49, and because 7 times 7, that has a square on it, 7 times 7 equals 49, and negative 7 times 7 equals 49. This is times. Okay, that x is either going to be negative 7 or positive 7, and there's a way you write that. There's a bracket that's on the other slide. Let me erase this real quick and make this look more like a negative 7. So anyway, just keep everything in mind that's going on here, because when you do these completing the squares, if you get something wrong, you're going to mess up a step. I do that still myself. So don't mess up simple steps, because then the whole problem is wrong. Okay, now here's that plus or minus sign I was telling you about, and this is the way the answer appears, so that when you get ready to throw x's value back in, you have 7 minus 3 equals 7, and when you take the negative value back over, you're going to get x equals 10. Okay, so you're solving to see what all the possible values are that will go back into this equation, and it's either 10 or negative 4. So if we were to do x minus 3 is 3, we would get x minus 3 equals, we're doing a positive 7 here. You're going to add, I'm going to do this down, plus 3, x equals 10. Okay, and the same thing here, it's x minus 3 equals negative 7. So if your book says what are the possible values, this is what you're doing. You're completing the square, because it may not tell you to complete the square. X equals, why is it negative 4? Because your value is here. You're actually doing negative 7 plus positive 3. It's negative 4. So Simple equation, just the beginning. Thanks for watching.